What's up, everybody? Driving down the road here, heading through Flagstaff, Arizona. So you might see some trees in the background. It's Flagstaff and Ponderosa Pines. Heading down Highway 40. Heading over to Southern California, sunny Southern California, Gardena, Long Beach area to be precise. And if you've been down to those areas in your lifetime, it may have been nice at one time, but it's not this time. It's pretty bad. Pretty much a giant shithole now. But just saying hello, man. New Year's passed us all up. I haven't made many videos in the last few weeks. I've been busy just doing house stuff. I was trying to get some projects done before the snow hit. Kept kind of throwing me for a curveball. Since December, we did a lot of family stuff. Went down to Southern California, visited the ex-in-laws and my parents and my brother, and got my kids around family. Family's important. I'm more about the immediate family, the ones you create. My kids are what I consider my family. Obviously my parents, my brother, and in-laws and all, they're all family too, but I try and focus on my kids first and foremost. But it's also part of why I go down there for the holidays. I'd prefer not to go to Southern California if I don't have to, or if I'm not making money to go down there. It's not really a pleasurable area for me for the most part. But keeping my kids around, my parents, making those memories with them is important. And I enjoy my ex-in-laws, my two sister-in-laws, and my ex-mother-in-law are just phenomenal people. They've always been really good to me, and actually enjoy being around them. So, but yeah, so did a little bit of holiday stuff, December, and I'll do a lot of running around up here. There's a lot of snow, so and the snow never really came. It kind of came and went, I guess I should say, in November and December, and it just kind of hit this last couple weeks. So we've been kind of not snowed in up there, but we got 8 inches one day, and 6 inches one day, and 4 inches one day. So it's pretty good snow for a high desert environment. But we are at 5,600 elevation, so, and the temperature's been dropping pretty good. But anyhow, so yeah, I'm just now heading down to Long Beach, get some more containers. I actually did a delivery in the snow the other day. I made a joke last year about I don't deliver in the snow, and I did a couple last year that were uneventful. But then, of course, the one I did the other day, which I didn't want to do, but I thought, yeah, well, what the hell, I'll make a quick sale here. Big container over to guys just down the street. Man, me and my oldest son Riley got that thing partway down the trailer. It was a 20-footer on my 40-foot trailer, and man, it's like that old what is it, the Christmas Story, where the kid puts his tongue on the tetherball pole or something and sticks to it. Man, that container is stuck halfway down my trailer. It just stuck, like it wouldn't move at all. So luckily the guy had a big truck, the customer, and with a winch on it. He had a big Dodge diesel truck, lifted like my old truck, and he was able to, we would hook his winch on the back of the container and yanked it off of my trailer, or not, basically had to get it past that sticking point, and with about 6 inches of pull, it came flying down the trailer, which we did it safely. I didn't catch that on video. It was one of those things where if I catch all the stupid shit I did on video, it might be more entertaining on here, but usually when I'm doing stuff that would be entertaining to people watching me potentially fail or have catastrophic results, I'm usually like, you know, up to my elbows in safety thoughts and trying to keep my kids from getting hurt, myself from getting hurt, and get things done. So anyway, so yeah, it was that was very eventful. So it was about a 3-hour delivery. It should have taken about 30 minutes. But we got the customer his container pretty much right where he wanted it. Really nice guy. Bought a little small property across the street from the property he lives in, just kind of like what I did at my place. So he has some room for some storage. But so yeah, so typically I don't do a lot of deliveries in December or January, even February, because the snow is on the ground. And in our area, the snow is half the battle. The other half the battle is all the mud it leaves behind. So luckily, once the clouds disperse, we get decent sunlight, and dries up pretty quick. But when you get the mud, I call it mud, but I'd say more like muck. When you get some snow, when the snow starts to melt off here, not everywhere is the same up here in Arizona. By all means, my brother's property in St. John's is very different than my properties in Concho, but they all have a mix of this like clay-like, cruddy, mucky compound. Man, it's the nastiest mud I've ever driven in, off-roaded in, camped in, whatever in. I mean, like I off-road all over the place, ridden dirt bikes all over the place, raced dirt bikes all over the place, traveled around the whole U.S., you know, for work, to go to dirt bike races. So for years, so I've been around it all. I've never been in mud like Arizona, to where it just takes your tires and turns them into chocolate donuts in about 13 seconds flat. And I mean, I came out here a few years ago, two and a half maybe years ago, 3 years ago, in my big overland truck I had, with brand new, just ridiculously expensive mud tires, air down, normally no problems. We're getting anywhere we want. Big 4x4 truck, should be able to conquer just about anything like a tank. And man, I tell you, I almost got stuck in my own property a couple of times. The mud got so bad, it just cakes right up on your tire. It just turns into a big, like I said, big chocolate donut with frosting on it. And you're just sliding everywhere. I mean, sliding forward, sliding backwards, slide nowhere, stay in one spot. Pretty bad. So anyway, so we're kind of in between. We got a little snow here and a little snow there, and it kind of went away. I'm going through Flagstaff right now. There, it looks like there's nothing on the ground. I mean, there's a little bit up in the mountains right there. I don't even know if Flagstaff has a ski resort or like that. I know Flagstaff's like a little mountain community. It's beautiful up here. It's gorgeous. You know, you get all the different amenities and all the fast food restaurants and the big box stores and all the little stores as well. But there is snow on the the ground here. If you see it as I'm passing, I don't want to grab the camera because there's cops everywhere around here, and there's a lot of traffic through this area. But there's definitely snow. You probably see it on my shoulder here. We're past this little bluff, but not much for how they are in elevation or how cold it gets up here. So, but anyway, so yeah, heading down to Long Beach, gonna grab a couple containers. I got enough people bugging me for containers or asking for containers, and I'm behind as usual to facilitate what people want in the area. And so anyway, so I'm heading down there. I'm also, I was trying to get some projects done around the property. I got my, my container, my exterior workshop area, my 30x16 built. You guys saw videos on that. Got the roof up there, and I kind of hesitated. I took a couple weeks to kind of catch up on life after Thanksgiving, and then before the holidays hit. For Thanksgiving, when I redid the kitchen on our little ship box mobile home, and then I took 2 weeks down to like I said, family in Southern California, and I was thinking, man, maybe I got another week or so to get some of these projects done. I wanted to enclose. I want to finish off the final touches on the kitchen. I wanted to enclose the exterior workshop to try and make a nice area. If we did get a late winter, I could work out of there, and I also wanted to swap out our water heater because our little water heater is literally from like 1984. I don't know how the thing still works. I'm sure we're heating up sediment. 90% of the time we're just heating up sediment in that thing. It doesn't. There's 4 of us there, so the 4 adults. Plus we wash the dogs every now and then, washing dishes, stuff like that. It doesn't seem to run out of hot water for a 40-gallon tank. But I tell you, a water heater should not last 20, 30 years. They should give you about 10, maybe 15 if you're really conscious about draining them every year and keeping the sediment low and things like that. And this thing was definitely not taken care of. So anyway, that was one of my projects. But what I'm getting to is I finally got ready to do projects, and then the snow came out of nowhere and just kicked our ass for the last few weeks. So I haven't got anything done. So basically, I'm hoping I think we get snow coming Thursday, and then possibly some clear skies after that. So I'm hoping it's just a little peppering, and then we get back to some warmer weather. I can work in the snow, and I prefer snow over wind, to be honest with you. Rain, obviously sucks. But the biggest thing is just tracking the stuff in the house, tracking all your stuff, and tracking your workshop. I mean, just the mud and everything else. So my property is no exception. Our little properties that are on grid are no exception from our off-grid property. It still gets just filthy and muddy, goat shit everywhere, chicken shit. We got stuff everywhere. So you're tracking it all over the place. But anyway, so up on the horizon here coming up, obviously I didn't get on the off-grid property either. I made some mentions of some older videos that I was going to get out there before the winter and finish re-drying that tiny house in, but I did not get out there. So we're basically looking at March 1st would be kind of the kickoff back on the off-grid property. And same list I had before, if anyone remembers it, or if you're new to the channel, we do have an off-grid 40-acre property. That's how the channel started. That's the main focus of this. I mentioned shipping containers. That's what I do. I buy, sell, and deliver them now, along with other things I buy and sell and just other activities I have. We're working on our on-grid property that we're living at that will become, well, it already is, but would be just given to me, my kids, as their home, so they can either stay there in the future if they don't want to go to the off-grid property, or if they want to live there and visit the off-grid property, if they want to sell that for profit or rent it out as residual income. That's their house to do with as they choose to do in the next couple of years. Once I'm on the main property, we'll see what comes out of it. But so the main property, we will be doing re-tie-back wrapping the exterior of the house in March. We will be putting in a couple windows. So I have no windows in it right now, but I have all the windows purchased. They've been purchased for a year and a half, maybe at least a year, but easily maybe a year and a half. So I have windows. I'll have a big window that goes in the right-hand side of the tiny house as you walk in. I have a little window I want to put in where the entrance is, so you can kind of see if someone came and knocked on the door who's outside. It has a solid door. And then I might put one on the back side directly across the door. So 3 windows. So what I'll do is I will Tyvek wrap that house, throw those windows in, and then I will seal those windows, tape those windows. Then I will come around and I will, well, I guess then I'll Tyvek wrap after that. Then I'll come back around and I have all the siding already purchased a couple years ago as well for that house. So that should come along pretty quick. I just haven't got back to it. I have one eave to throw on there, or fascia board, I guess you'd call it. And then we'll do the water catchment system out there. And I have 2 metal panels that from my original 2+ years back when I built that place. I got, when I still had a regular job to report to, I got stuck down there working, and my buddy that owned the company reluctantly didn't come in too often, and so you know, not totally his fault, but I mean, you know, well, yeah, 100% his fault, but he's taking advantage of the fact that I was a strong worker and he could just sit at home and collect a check. So I didn't get back out to that property for a month and a half time, and the wind picked up and I didn't have enough screws to finish the roof, and thought, oh, I'll just come back in a couple weeks, you know, and it was 2 months later, and the wind picked up and ripped 2 of those panels from almost 2 months out. So they've been damaged like that for a year and a half now, and they didn't get any worse. Well, they did get worse, but they didn't do any. The repair's the same. It's 2 panels. The ridge cap's the same. Nothing's changed on that. Didn't get damaged. It was just I ran out of screws, so I just kind of, you know, sparingly put screws on there. And then we were in the middle of the monsoon season. We bailed out when our truck almost got stuck, like I mentioned earlier. So we never got back to fixing that properly. So anyway, tiny house will get 2 new panels on there. I'll put a little bit tar paper, whatever I had on top of the roof. I have extra of that, so some of that got damaged too. So I'll overlap it just in that section, overlap the section next to it. We'll loosen the ridge cap, pull those 2 panels off, slide 2 new panels in, bolt them down, trim them off, new fascia board. Like I said, windows, Tyvek wrap, siding, and that tiny house from the exterior is turnkey at that point. It's done. Now I'm going to build a deck on there that wraps around. One deck goes out, one deck for the front. The deck on the front will have an overhang, so when you open the door and there's out of bad weather, you don't get rain in the house, snow in the house. And then the side will be an open deck, and I'll do sailcloth on that. We'll put a barbecue or a griddle out there, and that'll be the area where you gotta hang out and just fucking check out the lay of the land. My little brother's a total beast on a tractor. He bought a nice Kubota, I think, skid steer, really nice one, but he got some emissions codes he's working on right now with that, just because, you know, just like a diesel truck, they just have to be cleared out and new filters and crap like that. So he got a deal on one, but he had a little bit of emission stuff to fix, taking care of that, doing some awesome stuff with his property. Once he's done with his property, I'm going to do some trade work, some bartering with him, or some help with him, and he's going to do some stuff, or I'll pay him some cash for whatever he needs. And he's going to widen my driveway on the main property, and we're going to stake out the drive, the back portion of the drive that'll split off from the main drive, go around the backside and come to the top of the property. Basically, it's the middle of the property, the top of where I'm building though, and we will clear cut 60 by 50, 60 by 60, 60 by 40. Well, I'll give him, you know, whatever he thinks makes sense on the clear and whatever makes sense for me to get some containers in there. And as soon as that's done, I'm thinking March, maybe April-ish, depending. April showers brings May flowers, so April probably some rain, if that's how that goes by the song. But I'm thinking March, April, we'll have the rural property will have the top portion cleared off, the driveway widened enough that I can start bringing containers out there. I will be building a main cabin home at a shipping container, so I'll be doing 3 40-foot high cubes, so that'll be 8, so 8, 16, 24 by 40. I think I said 32 in my last week, but it's 24 foot wide because they're 8 foot wide each by 40 foot long. I'm just going to make a rectangle. I'm not trying to stagger them and going for Pinterest and duck lip selfies. I'm really just going for, you know, I guess utility. I want a big rectangle box that I'll clear out most of the connecting panels in there. I'll make a conventional roof on there. I'll make an L-shaped patio, kind of like a Western, you know, I like that old ghost town look. So you don't, you know, obviously a container's not ghost town, but I like making that old Western style like deck like I did for my goat barn and things like that. So I don't want it to look cookie cutter and like the track home. I want it to look a little bit raw, a little bit rough, a little bit utilitarian. I'm not looking for, like I said, a Better Homes and Garden, you know, or a Lifestyles Rich and Famous walkthrough video. So I want it to be purpose built. But yeah, so we'll do 3 containers up there for the main property for the house. We will do a 20-foot container up there cut out for a barn for future animals, for goats, for horses, for anything we put up there. I'll be using containers for pretty much everything. So 20-foot container for a goat barn, maybe a 20-foot container with a build out for a chicken coop. You know, we split it in half with another set of animals we have, maybe rabbits, something like that. get some fencing done up there. I'm looking at maybe some livestock. So I have a 2-year plan. A year plan from now, I plan on being out there, if not full-time, pretty close to full-time. Year and a half, let's say this time next year, I'm done with the house I'm in. My kids are fine, they're comfortable, they got all the conveniences they could possibly ever need, and hopefully they appreciate them. And then that next 6 months, I work on the property, so that gives me a year and a half on getting the property where I want it to be. So I would say 2 years from now, having that property, the area I want fenced in, the property full-time livable, me living out there maybe for 4 to 6 months of that time. And if I'm not living out there full-time, in a year and a half from now, I'd at least be going out there pretty regularly. It's only 6 miles from my other 2 properties, so get out there and start making progress on projects and getting it kind of less like what I'm doing now, where I shoot from the hip. That place I can kind of lay out the way I want, and then literally just go, okay, today I'm moving out there, which is awesome. It'll be turnkey. So solar is a big thing out there. I have a friend of mine that lives in Yucaipa, super badass dude, just a really good dude. I met, one of the few friends I have that I didn't meet through high school or known forever. My buddy Rob, just a good-hearted dude, but he does solar on big projects. He's a fireman, but I'm gonna offer to do some bartering labor with him sometime in the summer here, to learn the solar systems a little better than I already know. I understand solar. I've done it on RVs before. I've sold it before on residential and on RVs, so I understand the process. But just to me, until you get your hands a little bit dirty, understanding something on paper is nothing like, it's a good step, but it's not like putting your hands dirty and actually connecting the dots. So I'm going to do something in the summer where I probably do a week-long trip down to Yucaipa and hang out with my buddy and help him out. I'm not going to ride along, but I'll ride along, but I'll be a helpful set of hands. I'm pretty mechanically inclined, and do a big solar job with him, or maybe a couple jobs to learn solar a little bit better, so I can apply it on a bigger property. That property be all water catchment, no well. And then, like I said, everything will pretty much be electrical or propane. So any propane, obviously that's pretty easy. Propane tank, do some propane lines and hook it up to your fixtures. Maybe the refrigerator will be propane and the stove will be propane, and then everything else electrical. Maybe I'll do the refrigerator propane and everything else is electric. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, there'll be some stuff coming up on the off-grid property in March, so set your calendars. If you're not into the on-grid stuff, or me babbling about driving down the freeway to Long Beach and getting, staying in the ghetto, picking up containers. If you're looking for off-grid property footage only, March should be the kickoff. I know I promised a couple dates in the past, but that should be a realistic date on all the crap I've been trying to catch up on. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys all had a good last year. Hopefully you're having a good new year. If you have questions on properties, by all means, reach out. If I get it on the little local Facebook groups like that too. If you're looking for to move up to that area, or Concho, or St. John's, or Apache County in general, or Navajo County, and you need a place to park when you come into town, I have a couple properties. I don't mind someone parking their RV and just camping out, but there's also camping areas around there. You can camp for free as well, so it's not like I'm the only game in town, but I do tour people around. I gave my brother a tour. He ended up buying land. I gave some old high school buddies, by a kind of a fluke conversation we had. They came up, I gave them a tour. They've been looking at land up there. I've had some people in the van community. I've offered the same. But if you're on YouTube and you want to come up and stay in the area and have someone that knows the area, and you can handle me babbling all day, I don't mind spending a day or two touring you around and showing you the area. And you're welcome to park, like I said, with obviously some sort of a don't just show up unannounced, but if you give me a call, by all means, I don't mind you parking across the street and checking the local area out. We also have Concho Lake right across the street from us, which is not a very productive lake. It's like a puddle right now, but they do have a campsite there with some platforms on there. Usually there's a pit toilet or outhouse there, a couple outhouses there, so you have to sort of use restroom, and it's a 14-day stay free. That's Concho Lake, Arizona. So that's a good little hub if you want to go see St. John's, Sholo, Snowflake, Taylor, Springerville. If you want to go to Winslow, Holbrook, that's all 45-minute to hour range right there from Concho Lake, Arizona. So that's off of Highway 61. So if you guys want to come out and check out the area, by all means, reach out, and I can give you some references or help with accommodations, so as best as I can. So anyway, I hope everyone's doing well out there. Like I said, March we'll have some off-grid property stuff. In the next month, February, let's say, I'm going to be working on my boy's concession trailer that we still have not received. We got an order now. I went a different direction. We're buying one from most likely Georgia, like I had originally thought 2 months ago, and I kind of dragged my feet on. But I'll be working on that a little bit in February, so there'll be some videos of that. And I'll be doing some stuff on the exterior portion of my workshop. And then, like I said, some just remedial stuff around the property. The house we're in will get all new paneling sometime during this summer. It'll get all new windows of the ones we haven't already replaced. New water heater, and eventually get a new roof. So even if you're not really into the on-grid stuff, I mean, the stuff I'm doing out there is similar to what I would do in an off-grid property. I'm taking a shitty little 1979 Fleetwood Mobile and turning it into a house, basically, or a cottage. So cottage-looking house. That, you know, anyone can do that kind of stuff. So if you, I guess the benefit of looking at my videos, you can see like what it started out as a piece of shit, and you'll see the end result. It'll just be a polished piece of shit. You know, it'll be a nicer, livable, you know, financially more rewarding. It's where the value went through the roof when I'm done. It'll be astonishing what the value of that property is compared to what I paid for it. And it was just all done out of like a little elbow grease, a little bit of fun. So anyway, stay tuned, guys. Hopefully everyone's safe out there. By all means, if you need a container, reach out and let me know. If you get a container, need a move that can help you. If you got a price on a container that's so ridiculous it doesn't make sense, call me and I can, you know, maybe do a little research for you and make sure you're not getting ripped off. I'm not the only game in town. I don't try to be the only game in town. I got a lot of hobbies, a lot of, you know, projects to do. I can't be working like a regular person 7 days a week. That's in the past. So I just do this part-time for fun and a little bit of side hustle money. I got to be able to afford to buy guns and buy ammo and buy diesel fuel. You know, that's how it goes. But yeah, hope everyone stays safe out there. Stay warm during the winter here. And if you have any questions on off-grid related stuff in that Apache County area, by all means reach out. I'll do the best I can to answer it. Thanks, guys.